Welcome to Dementia Air, a content channel devoted solely to exploring topics related to dementia. Dementia Air is a production of Beyond Dementia Coalition, a not-for-profit 501c3 which seeks to reduce stigma and help all of us not only recognize but also accept, assist, and embrace people living with dementia as valued and beloved members of the community. See the person beyond the disease. Good morning, Gerry.
Morning, Bruce.
I think as everybody knows, you are the author of 24/7 Caregiver, The Everyday Battle with Alzheimer's. And the title of this podcast, which is the final podcast in our series, is When It's Time. And I'm going to emphasize that. It's not when is it time. It's not a question. It's when it's time. So, Gerry, through the series 24/7 Caregiver, I've usually started with an introduction to your reading of the poems in order to put them in some sort of context for the listeners. And these poems, as I read through them, were really so moving and poignant, so readily accessible that I thought we should allow these words that you're about to share with the audience to speak for themselves. So, Gerry, I'm going to turn it over to you, and then I'll have a few comments as we close. Gerry?
Thank you, Bruce, and thank you for those words. They mean a lot to me. We envisioned it, didn't we? We talked about it, didn't we? And now it's upon us. Pod number 7. Hard to believe. And Bruce, I've enjoyed every step along the way with you, the conversations, the patience that you've had for me, and quite frankly, making me better. And to the audience, for giving me the honor of listening to my words, our conversations, and now, Bruce, to my first reading. Is that all there is? Maybe it's all I got. How does that Peggy Lee song go? Is that all there is? Is that all there is? Lately, my patience is thin. My emotions are afraid, and I'm tired. Of course, all directed toward Jean's behavior. Well, it's become more difficult. From rising to the afternoon and into the evening, she becomes more arbitrary, more defiant, more saying, I don't have to. I'm not going to the doctor. I don't have to. It's cold. I'm not getting dressed. I don't have to. I'm not taking my pills, not because she can't swallow, not because she says, I don't have to. It's the I don't have to. I'll do it. I know how. Leave me alone. Hit parade. And her voice, now meekish, never loud, but strong-willed. That Gerry Roth stubborn streak. I can do it. Leave me alone. Until she needs me. Can you help me? And she understands less, many times not at all, with a stare into oblivion. It's exasperating. It's frustrating. It's disturbing. So I'm investigating, starting my search, looking for a nursing home. Maybe it's time. Maybe I'm ready. I've always known this time will come. And I think I'm all right with it. Finding the right facility, one that is dementia trained, where patients' care is exemplary. Things need to come together, but if they do, well, okay, maybe it's time. Maybe I'm ready. How does that Peggy Lee song go? Is that all there is? Is that all there is? And maybe, just maybe, I've come to the realization, the stark realization, it's all I got. It's all I got. And Bruce, that was written on October 29th, 2021. And I think it's important I connect this reading with the next reading, because there's a lot going on right now. As I think back, although the stories flow together, let me take you behind the scenes, because I have now crossed over that breaking point. Remember last pod, we talked about breaking point, and we talked about making that decision. So now I've crossed that line. And now, as I think back, I'm no longer thinking about Jean. Well, of course, it's always Jean, but I'm thinking about my preparation, How do I prepare? How do I get myself mentally prepared for taking Jean to a nursing home? And no longer do I think as I leave an issue with Jean and a confrontation that may be ensuing, as I've done in the past, to walk outside to the corridor, to walk outside into the fresh air, or even to the bathroom when I would talk to myself in previous times of love, frustrated and confused, and get ready to walk back in and talk with Jean and say, "Hi, Jean, it's Gerry." And she said, "Where you been?" No longer do I do that, but I reached back to some stories written many months ago, and some favorite words. My favorite words. They were the following. They were the following, and they're words I always remembered, and they were specifically the good times, the bad times, the times of love and sharing. And then I would repeat that and say, it's still going to be there, but just in a different setting. And then I would think about something Jean and I would always do after a situation or an occasion, a glorious moment when either the girls won a tennis tournament or get a ribbon and gold and were honored at a gymnastics meet many years ago. We would look at one another and we would smile and say, just one more story for our book. But there's something else going on. It's mental preparedness, that's true, but there are tasks that are coming up that need to be able to be handled in a comfortable way and in a way that making it smooth. And those tasks are the following. How do I get Jean from Alpharetta, Georgia to Cleveland, Georgia? Sometimes I learned simple is not necessarily easy. How do I get Jean out of the apartment? Because we have a relatively small apartment and she hovers over everything and she's protective of everything she has. How do I get her out so Stephanie can come in, help me pack those things that are needed, put her name, Gerry Roth, on every article of clothing, pack her personal belongings, and then get out of the house so that Stephanie would drive to Friendships of 55 miles away, prepare the room, get it ready for Jean, get the bulletin board up with all the pictures of family, and the book that we call Jean's book, which is a personal book about Jean for the people there, talking about personal things like how does she eat? What the help does she need? How do you take medication? What medication needs to be crushed? Does it go in orange juice or in prune juice or favorites? And just information that would bring them closer to Jean. How do we do that? So Jean came in while Eileen had Jean at breakfast, and then Jean came back. And then the ultimate: how do I take Jean 55 miles north on a straight run up 400 and then through some beautiful roads through Cleveland, Georgia? What do I tell her? What do I say to her? And I settled on, Jean always envisioned herself going back to art school, those beautiful memories. And I said, Jean, I found an art school for you. And she said, really? And you'll take me there? As she often said, you're so nice. And I have to smile when I think about that. And the trip up, by the way, the day, of course, was gloomy, and it looked like it was going to first snow. And as we arrived, Stephanie was there. And of course, Jean recognized Stephanie. And Jean, now very dubious about what's going on. And some other people came out, and they were very nice. And they talked to Jean, and Jean very apprehensive now walking into Friendship. And another thing we need to recognize is that Stephanie and I had never been in Friendship, because it was like 10 days or 2 weeks early that the state lifted the ban on loved ones being able to go inside to a community. And we all remember talking through the glass. So we didn't have to do that. And as Stephanie left the room because her tears were coming down her eyes, and she said, Dad, I got to go. I can't be here. And as I watched people talk to Jean, beautiful people who were very, very nice, I knew I had to leave. They were ready to give her blood and take blood pressure, and that was my time to leave. And oh, what guilt. I got into the car and drove back, and perhaps one of the few times I felt guilt along our long journey. And then as I arrived home, waiting to call to Friendship about 3 hours later just to check. And you know what, Bruce, the next day, as they say in Annie, the sun will come out tomorrow. And it did. My next reading, Bruce, the next reading is on page 147. The next reading is Jean needing to be free, someplace for me. I've started the process. Now we wait and see. For Jean to enter a nursing home, some peace for me. There's no guilt, for the time has come. Better care for her, a deep breath of relief for me. It's so difficult now throughout the day, unreachable in every way. The stubborn force pushing her mind, the compelling drive for mom and dad. Yet in any given talk, yes, I know they are not here. I've learned the hard way. When she gives in to reality, it's just only shame. A few minutes later, she is out the door. See you tomorrow. It's now every day, or so it seems. And what's difficult now is the obsession. It's so real, it is consuming every thought. Impossible to deal with. No longer. I can't. Feelings, I really don't have time. Thoughts are what fulfill my mind. Will it be okay? How will it be? And always, how will she survive? So much I do. She relies on me. My times, they're not my own, nor can it be. She said last night, and maybe it's a sign, you're a nice person. I like you a lot, but it's not working. I need to go. I don't really believe in signs, but maybe she knows, understanding her need to be free. And like always, Jean guiding me. The last reading is some words that are very, very special for me. And this was not written as a eulogy, but some years later turned into a eulogy. You see, at this time, as I wheel the calendar backwards to November of 2019, Jean was going through some very serious cognitive decline. 2019 was a tough year. And it was important for me recognizing that I did not know how many days, nor weeks, nor years we had remaining. It was important for me to capture Jean the way I wanted to capture Jean, remembering her as she was, as almost as she is, but not thinking about going forward. So this is a special time for me to remember Jean, a private time, an intimate time, a personal time. And I'm truly honored to share my story with you today. And my story is knowing Jean. Sometimes at night, I roll over and watch. Sometimes during the day, I look and catch a glimpse. Sometimes I close my eyes and feel so sad, so bad. It's painful. I've come to the conclusion that she is slipping badly. We're losing Jean, moving away. Not today, not tomorrow, but the joy we have is a book of love, 55 glorious years from the last days at Albany until now. We've been together. Sometimes she asks, what have I done? What did I do? Concerned maybe that she hadn't done enough. Are you kidding, I ask? A life like yours, Jean, should be envied by all. Always you wanted to be first. The best is doing it your way. Always your way. Never ever skipping a beat, never missing a beat. Yes, classic Jean, doing it all together, every activity at the same time. Never a problem, of course, just a proverbial, just another opportunity, new places, new faces, new friends. Why not? Never done it before. And always, let's do it. We can do it. I can do it. Few can understand each day's movement, the energy filled with exhaustion, yet excitement. And never, ever have I heard words that correlate with defeat, depression, overwhelmingness, disappointment, sure, balanced, however, by encouragement while looking to see what's next. I was reading some philosophical piece a while ago. The author, who was scholarly, long list of degrees bestowed. He was talking about his father, as I recall, a man unlike his son, a man who worked in the mines, not with educational degrees believed through sixth grade only. But the learned man always believed his father, having the truest sense of things, always putting things into perspective. His father told him something I found profound. Don't measure your time on this earth by what you think you have accomplished, but by whether you have touched lives and made other lives better. Wow. And although I thought I might have heard it before, this time it really stuck. It stuck because I now understand. Smile. I see it now. It's been around me all the time. It's Gene. Everyone you have touched, those you will continue to touch, our lives are greatly enhanced. Being with you, laughing with you, enjoying you, loving you. We are the lucky ones. Thank you, Gene. We love you. Bruce?
Gerry, thank you. It's been an honor to work with you and also getting to know Gene. I didn't know Gene in life, but I've come to know both you and Gene through your readings, and thank you for sharing that with us. Gerry, thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
Beyond Dementia Coalition is on a quest to close the dementia preparedness gap we face. To get there, we sure could use your support as a donor or a volunteer. To get involved, please go to beyonddementiacoalition.org. All donations are tax deductible, and be sure to subscribe to our mailing list to receive our monthly newsletter in your inbox, where we'll share new podcasts, fact sheets, webinars, blogs, and other dementia-related content. This is Dementia Air. See the person beyond the disease.